If you're like me, every so often you're doom scrolling throughout the interwebs and you find something. You find something special in terms of its absurdity. The fact that it's just so far detached from reality. It's obtuse. It's insane.
It's stupid.
It's to the point that maybe you have to do a second, a third, a fourth check just to make sure you're interpreting it properly, because it blows your mind that someone could have that vantage point on reality. Doesn't happen all the time, but we've all pretty much been there. One insane thing I recently came across, and as I alluded to, I did check this 3, 4, 5 times, and I cannot believe what I'm reading. To increase equity, school districts eliminate honors classes. Supporters say uniform classes create rigor for all students, but critics say cuts hurt faster learners. Now, before we get into it, I'm not going to get onto my soapbox and argue how
everything's completely equal and all you have to do is pick yourself up by your bootstraps and you too can reach all levels of success.
Because in reality, that's not our world. Some people do start off this race of life a little bit better. That's just honesty. But because I still believe there should be equality of opportunity, that doesn't mean that we can somehow control for equality of outcome. Some people are just better. Whether they're genetically gifted, intellectually gifted, maybe you just have the right last name. Sometimes you just have to play the hands that are dealt for you. So once again, I still agree with equality of opportunity, but when you're trying to say we should all have the exact same outcome, that still has the same vibe to me of everyone deserves a participation trophy. We're all perfectly equal. We could all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. In reality, life's just simply not like that. Sometimes people are born into, for a variety of different variables, into better situations. And I think we should all try to do what we want, but just to say we're all going to be equal on the backside of it, it's just not a thought that I think has any reasonable argument. But specific to this video, specific to eliminating honors classes, I'm telling you, it is more absurd than you could possibly imagine. Los Angeles area city to push back against a racial equity initiative. The high school, they argued, should reinstate honors classes that were eliminated because they didn't enroll enough Black and Latino students. The district earlier this year replaced the honors classes at Culver City High School with uniform courses that officials say will ensure students of all races receive an equal, rigorous education. These parents disagreed. Well, those parents are pretty based. Sometimes certain kids just do better and they're able to learn at a fast rate, and other people, they need a little bit more assistance. That is just life. And at any level of this, if we had a good education system, it would be able to facilitate the needs and desires for students of all of those major levels. You don't just say, hey, we're going to fix the problem by some people overperforming and underperforming by shoving everyone together. That is a horrible outcome. I truly don't understand it whatsoever. I don't get the mindset that is going to cause the people on the right end of the bell curve and the left end of the bell curve to be left behind. And it's only going to facilitate the people in the middle. And what are we doing it for? For feelings? So people's feelings don't get hurt? Doesn't add up in my mind. We really feel equity means offering opportunities to students of diverse backgrounds, not taking away opportunities for advanced education and study. But they are taking it away by taking away those top tier classes. They have the opportunity. No one is saying that any student, it doesn't matter your race or gender or creed or anything, it doesn't matter. They all have the opportunity to take those classes. So right here, it's already being contorted of what the argument truly is. The parental pushback in Culver City mirrors resistance that has taken place in Wisconsin, Rhode Island, and elsewhere in California over the last year in response to schools stripping away the honors designation on some school classes. Once again, happy to see that some of these parents are based and understand that for their kid, they want them to take advantage of the opportunities that they're being presented. But the fact that not everyone for anything in life can take advantage of all opportunity, that doesn't mean that you normalize it. Just because I'm not going to be a professional athlete, that doesn't mean I think everyone else should stop from being a professional athlete just because I wasn't born with those gifts. That is such a nonsensical argument. Parents say academic excellence should not be experimented with for the sake of social justice. Once again, glad that there's still some reasonable parents out there. It was very jarring when teachers looked at their AP enrollment and realized Black and brown kids were not there, they felt obligated to do something. Great, I agree with you. But the thing that you should do is examine what's going on in the earlier education of why they're not exceeding to that level. You don't just stop it at the final leg of the race and be like, nope, no one's allowed to participate in it. That's so silly. I was born in Cuba, and it doesn't sound good when people are trying to achieve equal outcomes for everyone. 100% agree. There are some people who slow down the pace because they don't really do anything and aren't looking to try harder. I don't think you can force that into people. You definitely can't. And why should the people who care more about this specific subject, as in education, why should they suffer because others, it might just not be their cup of tea. They might have other interests which they wish to explore, and I applaud them to do so. In Santa Monica, California, high school English teachers said last year they had a moral imperative to eliminate honors English classes that they viewed as perpetuating inequality. The teachers studied the issue for a year and a half. Well, if they are English teachers, I'm just going out on a limb here. I don't really know, but I don't think that this is a peer-reviewed statistical study of inequality. It's more of they just arbitrarily looked at their classes and didn't think that it was a mixture of races that they thought was appropriate. Why stop certain people from overachieving? Try to look at where the problem started, not the end of the river. It's just, what an absurd way to handle our education system. A moral imperative? The imperative is to fix it early on so we all have that opportunity, not at the end at like your own virtue signaling BS. This is not a social experiment. This is a sound pedagogical approach to education. Just because you cracked open a thesaurus doesn't mean that your argument is right. A school district spokeswoman said the shift this school year has increased access and provided excellent education experiences for all of our students. How is that possible when there's certain students who are now being forced to take classes at a lower academic level than they wanted to? And I could even take this argument a step further and saying relative to the rest of the US, they're now kind of in a detrimental situation because they couldn't take the same classes offered at other schools at the highest levels if they're on the competitive track to get into top tier colleges. I just don't see how removing something from some kids all of a sudden helps other kids learn faster. A senior research scientist at education research nonprofit NWEA who has studied equity in gifted and talented programs. That's right. How does removing something from some people benefit the education and learning ability of others? The simple answer is it doesn't. This is just another failed virtue signaling attempt. I understand what they're going for, and I truly applaud them for that, of like, okay, we want education for all people to be better. I understand the premise of what they're going off of, and I agree with that. I think it's just the execution that is wildly off base. Obviously, these are just my own thoughts and opinions, so I would love to hear from you in a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a beautiful day.